Georgia Tech fans, what's going on? Luke Howard back here with the Georgia Tech fan account. Just talking about another video. I'm going to be covering a little recap on my thoughts on the UCF game, and I'll talk about what everyone else has been talking about, and that is the firing of Todd Stansbury, the firing of Jeff Collins, what I think of the interim coach hire and Brent, and potential head coaches moving forward. So diving right into it, thoughts on the UCF game. I was disgusted. I'm sure most of you were too. We made it to the red zone 5 times and went 0 for 5 in the red zone. We scored 1 touchdown, which was a 59-yard bomb from Sims to Malachi Carter, which was a beautiful pass. And kind of speaking on that, Sims looked pretty good. There was a lot of people going into this game that doubted Jeff Sims and his ability to actually take a step in the quarterback position. And, with everything going on outside the program and within the program with Collins, coaching for his job, essentially at that point, I thought with all those outside factors, Sims looked pretty good. 21 for 32 at 314 yards and a touchdown. No interceptions. He did have a fumble, but if you were watching, that fumble was not his fault at all. There was a backside blitzer that came unblocked, untouched, and just got a free shot on him, and he was in the throwing motion. So not much you can do about that. Nate McCollum made a fantastic, one of the best hustle plays that I've ever seen. It's up there with that DK Metcalf run down against Buda Baker, if anyone remembers that chase down tackle. So McCollum runs 90 yards down the field to force a touchback, and we get the ball back with no harm, no foul. So I like to see that, because I think all the players kind of knew at this point, along with Collins, that Collins was out the door. But the fact that they still have hustle like that shows me a lot. I didn't see our team lay down in this game like I did in Ole Miss. I'm not saying I'm pleased with the results at all, but I think there is positivity to look forward to, just because of the fact that we outgained UCF by 100 yards. Did we win the game? No. There were still so many mistakes. There was another blocked punt, 2 missed field goals, 0 for 5 in the red zone. Team had 2-3 turnovers total, I think, which, we just can't keep shooting ourselves in the foot. We looked like the better team for the majority of the day. We did. If you watch the game, that's true. But losing 27-10 is just a head scratcher. And, that falls on the head coach, essentially, which is why he was fired 2 days after. So, but we outgained them by 100 yards total. Sims had 300 yards through the air, which he hasn't done a ton in his career. So anytime he does that is definitely a positive. Hassan Hall led us in rushing, 7 carries, 54 yards. That's over 5 yards a carry. He looked really good. Dante looked pretty good. The screen game was there. So that was promising because it really hasn't been there all year. And Sims was throwing the deep ball pretty well. He was throwing on the run great. Didn't miss a ton of throws. So I liked what I saw from Sims. Unfortunately, the offense sputtered every time we got down in the red zone. That's been a problem under Collins' tenure at Tech that I've seen, and it continued to happen. Mistakes weren't fixed throughout his time at Georgia Tech, and that's a big reason why he was fired. We had our 4th punt blocked over a 4-game span this past Saturday, which that has to lead the FBS by at least 2. I mean, that's insane. So that was very disappointing. It was tough to watch the team lose like that, especially with the offense actually clicking on all cylinders, and the defense, for the most part, a couple big plays towards the end really killed us. But the defense looked great. We held John Rice Plumlee to 49 yards passing, and we forced an interception. He did have 100 yards on the ground. We continue to struggle with mobile quarterbacks. That's something that needs to get fixed as well, if we want to see at least one more win this year. But the secondary looked great. I don't think Rise Plumlee, I've never thought he was a really good quarterback in the first place. So that could be part of it as well. But great bounce back from the secondary. Run defense looked pretty good. They were grounding and pounding all day, getting a decent amount of yards on the ground. They had, let's see, they had 284 yards rushing, which is a lot, but they only had 49 yards passing. So, Georgia Tech defense isn't expected to go in there and shut them down completely. They gave up the run, but they stopped the pass. We put ourselves in a position to win the game throughout the whole day, and we just didn't do it. So disappointing, but there, like I said, some positives to definitely pull out of that game. Sims, the hustle, like from Nate McCollum and from other players I saw as well. Hassan Hall breaking out a little bit, getting comfortable. It's still early to middle season. He's got time. Dante's Dante. We know who he is. He's going to be awesome. So continuing to utilize our running back room that we have. I think that after Saturday, I think the pecking order has been established as Dante, Hassan, and then Dylan McDuffie at the 3. But we'll just have to see how that continues to evolve throughout the year. So that's my thoughts on that game. I think this team has potential with a good coach at the helm, with a good game plan, a team who's able to finish in the red zone and finish games out completely, period. This team is able to, I see this team winning at least 1 or 2 more games. I think it's possible. Are we going to make a bowl? No, probably not. I mean, I'm just telling you something you probably already know. That's not going to happen, especially with all the outside things going on with this program right now. We're kind of in shambles in the sense that we don't have a true head coach. We don't have an athletic director. We don't have any of those things. So it's hard to make it to a bowl game, especially when that happens in the middle of the year. But I do think that we can beat a team like Virginia. We can beat a team like Virginia Tech. We could even sneak one against, Miami. They didn't look good at all. North Carolina, maybe. I don't see our defense keeping up with that offense, but that's why you play the game. You never know, So that is just something to consider, I think. And we'll just see how that goes. But moving on to my thoughts about everything that's going on, I like Brent Key as interim head coach. I think that his press conference really fired up a lot of people today, myself included. He seems more like a ball coach than Collins did. One of the things he mentioned that stuck out to me was that none of this is going to be about myself. This is about the team. This is about our team goals. This is about finishing out this season strong. And I think that's important because Collins definitely throughout his tenure at Tech made it about himself. He's painting on all the walls and, all the recruiting visits you see, like the little tags they have, like he's on there, like it's all the program was based around him. Understandably so, because he was trying to market us, but still I didn't like that. And I think Key's taking a totally different approach to that. Key got rid of the ATL chart, which was the dumbest thing ever, in my humble opinion. And I'm sure a lot of you will agree with me. We're going to have a real depth chart, like a real football team. He said they spent 2.5 hours today on special teams. Jason Seymour, linebackers coach, has been promoted to special teams coordinator. So hopefully we'll see some changes there. And it just seems like he is going to be a little bit more of an actual football coach. Will we see results? I don't know. It's hard to tell. And we're just going to have to see how the season plays out. I hope so. I hope this team gets better. And personally, I love Brent Key. And I hope that he's able to win some games. And I'm hoping he's able to make the team look a lot better. And I'm hoping he's able to put himself in a position to at least be in the conversation for the next head coach of Georgia Tech. Because I think he has potential to do that. And I think if the team takes a step forward with him, even considering everything that's going on, considering the players' emotions, considering all of that, I think that he has a shot to be a good head coach and put his name in the hat for that. So I think that'll be interesting to watch. Now moving on into potential head coaches. You've probably seen a lot of the same names from most people. My names are probably going to be similar. My top three in no real particular order. I think Jamie Chadwell, though, is my number one. Coastal Carolina head football coach. The things he's done there has been amazing. And I would love to see him on the flats. He's done a lot with little, which I think will be important for Georgia Tech in the next few years because we're not going to get blue chip recruits until we start actually winning. That's how it goes at all these programs. And he's able to do that at Coastal. There's a great article about him posted a few days ago by ESPN about how he took over the Coastal program in the middle of the season. So give it a read if you haven't. If you get a chance, that's a great article about him. And that's really what sold me on him. The players love him. He's rolling over there. Coastal Carolina has the second highest winning percentage in the FBS since 2019, right behind Alabama. So pretty impressive stuff there. Would love to see him. Dell McGee is the UGA running backs coach, another guy that I'm looking at. He has really good connections with Georgia high schools. I think that'd be really cool to be able to get him. It'd be risky. He's never been a head coach before anywhere. So it would be a risky play. But I think that he's young, he's energetic, and I think that'd be a good hire. I think that recruiting would definitely skyrocket. Obviously, we've seen what he can do from a recruiting standpoint at UGA, recruiting those running backs and then coaching them up as well. They're never short of a good running back. So I think that'd be a good hire. That's a lot more risky than Chadwell, but it's something to consider. And then another name that I've been hearing that I also wouldn't mind seeing is Todd Monken, UGA offensive coordinator. They've been brilliant the last couple of years with him at the helm. And, he's got experience coaching. He's got experience with offense. He is the personality I think that we need shifting from Collins. He fits the ball coach style. This guy is all about football. And I think that's what this program needs right now. And I think a lot of you are going to agree with me on that. So those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think. Interact with me on Twitter. Anything you hear, always hit me up. I've had a couple people in my DMs, which I always love. I love to chat about it. Anything that ever comes up that you hear, I'm in the Discord chat as well. So I see all that as well. But yeah, hoping to see some improvement from this team. I have cautious excitement for the rest of the year. I think Pitt's probably going to blow us out, but there's some winnable games on our schedule. We're 1-3 right now, and technically we could still make a bowl game. It's probably not going to happen, but so there's not reason to throw in the towel just yet. Collins is gone. We all wanted Collins gone. He's out. The GTA finally listened to the fans, and we're going to see what we can do with the remaining 60% of this year. So, interact with me, keep it going, keep the faith. Yellow Jacket Nation will be all right. And hopefully we can make a good hire going into next year and get this program back on the right track where it belongs. So that's all from me. Go Jackets and hell with Georgia.